right, guys, welcome back. It's another Saturday, and we are live on your favorite channel, Joy Prime Television, with your favorite show, Trotro Diaries. And of course, it's time for us to deliberate or have a conversation around a very important topic. But anyway, how was your weekend? Was it good? Did you hit some jackpots during the week, or the week went slow? I'm hoping that you're satisfied, or you are calm. Be cool, be calm, be collected. Everything is going to be fine. And hopefully this conversation we're about to have would help you get back into your usual normal mood. So once again, you're welcome to Trotro Diaries. My name is Noella Karen Iyali. I should be here with Yao Odum, but Yao Odum would, he's on his way. He'll get here very, very soon. You know how every time he lambasts me for being late. Today he is late. I'm wondering how he's going to go around that. But anyway, so yeah, once again, you're welcome to the show. So today on the show, we're going to be talking about a very dangerous, undetectable gas that is a threat to humanity and a threat to our society, our environment as well. But it's not really talked about as much as it should. I mean, given how dangerous, how toxic, and how much of a threat it is to our environment. I'm talking about carbon monoxide. But let's take a quick breather. And when we come back, I get to introduce my guest to you and tell you why we ought to have a conversation around carbon monoxide.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is your favorite girl, Debbie Sway, and today I'm on your screens once again. Now, we are here in North Kaneshi, actually. We are here to talk to a few mechanics and to talk to Mr. Kojo Kiel, who is a senior general mechanic and knows some misconceptions about engineers, car engineers and mechanics, and certain tips for car owners. This is Trotro Diaries, don't go nowhere. So I'm here with Mr. Kojo Kiel. And Mr. Kojo, how long have you been doing this?
Okay, I've been doing this for quite a long time now. Let's say 5 years. Yeah, 5 from training and then practice. So let's say 5 years. Yeah, sure.
With your experience, what has been the most difficult thing for you in this business? What's the most difficult thing for every mechanic or every engineer?
You see, the most difficult thing I would say is like people not understanding what you do. It's like going to the hospital and then people assume you are doing something like magic. There are jobs you can finish on time and jobs you can't finish on time. Let's say I have a job I'm doing now, okay, it's a Corolla. I made a person buy the car and it's more than 2 weeks. You haven't been able to resolve it, the issue. The person will give you pressure and you still have to find solutions to it. So meeting clients who are difficult to understand, like who have difficulty in understanding you. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Kojo, let's delve deeper into the issues, okay? So first of all, with what you are saying right now, maybe my car is with you for 2 weeks. I won't understand. I'll feel like, or they are trying to keep the car for long and do azan or what? You understand? There's a common misconception that we have about mechanics or engineers. How true is this? Is it true that some mechanics intentionally do azan or play gimmicks or are fooling with us just to, retract more money from us?
Honestly, I don't think that's the case. If
All right, so you're welcome back to the show, and shouts to Debbie Sway for interacting with Mr. Q. So you're welcome back, and I want you to just imagine, inhaling something so poisonous, so dangerous, but you cannot tell. Well, that is the nature of the undetectable gas we're about to have a conversation around, which is carbon monoxide. So it's very undetectable, and it could be in your workplace, it could be in your cars, it could be in your homes without you even knowing. And we ought to have some education around it because of how dangerous it is. And it has even earned the name the silent killer. And so we have to, educate ourselves, educate our community, educate our people around some of the most simplest things we do that sort of bring about this gas that we inhale, and it affects us tremendously, long-term, short-term. I have a personal experience with it, and something that happened to my relative, maybe along the way, the show. I'm going to share that experience with you. But yeah, you're welcome back to the show. And to help me have this conversation, I have a very, in fact, okay, they say ladies first. So let me introduce the lady first before I introduce the man. And so to help us have this conversation, we have precious Andrea Nixon. I'm hoping I got the name right.
Yes, you got it right.
You're looking very beautiful. I like your hair. You should get me a piece.
Oh, thank you so much.
After we're done with the show.
Definitely.
Awesome. So Andrea is an environmental scientist. You see her smallish like that. She's a powerhouse. She's going to have us understand what this gas is, all the technicalities around it, how it operates, how the little things we do at home, at our workplaces, in our garages, and how that sort of promotes this gas pollution. And also, Nene Williams is a known face on the show. We've had him so many times on the show. He is an instructor at Stevens Driving School, and he's going to particularly tackle the car aspect, how cars sort of bring forth this gas into our environment and how that pollutes our environment. Talk of the devil, he's right here, but I'm sure he will join us pretty soon, and you get to know the devil I'm talking about. But Andrea, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And Nene, you're welcome as well.
Thank you.
Andrea, you are an environmental scientist. Yeah. In your line of work, you know how sometimes we think most of the most dangerous gases that are very harmful to humanity, people think it's created in science labs. It's nowhere near us or close to us, because which part of the things we do would be able to produce such a hazardous gas that is harmful to us? Yeah. But in your line of duty, per your observation, per your experience, what are some of the most simple things we do that bring forth a lot of toxins into our environment that we probably do not know?
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on this show. I mean, it's amazing. Binging, watching it on YouTube, and then being here.
Oh,
it's
awesome.
so serious.
Kudos to us. Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there are so many gases around us. You know how people talk about global warming?
Right, climate change.
Yeah. There are these substances or gases in the atmosphere, like methane, like the carbon monoxide you just talked about, which is produced from very common sources around, like car exhaust pipes, burning of wood, even wildfires. It releases these carbon monoxides into our environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I used to live in a certain community, and I think not up to a kilometer, maybe 30 meters away from my apartment was this sort of kinky house. And I used to have a problem with them all the time, because you know how these, our people, they use woods and stuff. Sometimes late in the night, you're sleeping, before you realize you're smelling smoke. And I used to be very angry. And you will go to them and you tell them, Charlie, this thing is coming. Can you guys, or sometimes they'll be burning rubbish, and they'll bring it all the way into the road to burn the rubbish. And you wonder, why would you, do that? And so I'm happy that you're mentioning some of these simple things that we do that bring about some of these harmful toxins and gases into, our environment. But let's particularly zoom into carbon monoxide. But before I do that, it would be very not courteous of me not to introduce my co-host, who just joined. He's late, by the way. The lady got here first. I need to, emphasize on that. So you're welcome, Yao.
Thank you. I know you missed me.
No, I didn't.
And as usual,
no, I didn't.
Missing people has different ways of showing up.
Okay.
But it's good to be.
It's okay to tickle yourself and laugh. Don't worry, tickle yourself and laugh.
Good to see our guest, and yes, I'll just be following the conversation.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, let's now zoom into carbon monoxide. I've given a little brief about it, but you are the scientist. Let's get into this gas proper. What is it?
I like the example you gave previously that the kinky business behind your house, they're releasing smoke into the atmosphere and you complain about it. You know, carbon monoxide is produced from incomplete burning of carbon-containing material. So just like the firewood. So it's like...
the firewood contains carbon?
Yes, it contains carbon.
Okay.
So just like you are burning something and then you want to arrive at CO2, but then in
What's CO2?
Which is carbon dioxide, what we breathe in.
What we breathe in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me give you like a very simple analogy. Like those that use coal pots, you see as they put the charcoal in and then they add fire, there is this smoke before they add air.
Yes.
The air is oxygen.
When you're trying to start the coal fire, the thick smoke that comes out of it,
Yes, it contains carbon monoxide. So as you fan it, you give it oxygen. And then that's when you see the flames coming out.
So when you don't fan it, that thick smoke that comes is just poisonous.
It releases carbon monoxide. So that's where it's from. So the kinky house like that, I'm sure over time you see a buildup of those black substances on their walls.
Yes.
That's how to detect the buildup of carbon monoxide in an environment.
So if I get the analogy you're making, it means that even ladies who are into chop bars, you know, all this, like you said, kinky houses, even people who produce charcoal are at risk.
Yes.
Wow. What do you have to say? I mean...
So I think it's a very interesting conversation that we're having because for some time now, there's been a conversation around this. And personally, when I used to take trotros, that was actually one of my worst experiences when it came to trotros because a lot of people are not paying attention. But these things are creating health hazards.
Right.
When you're in these trotros, you see the smoke coming out. And it's sad that sometimes, you know, as Ghanaians, people will see all this smoke and will be laughing and all that. This is sicknesses that we're just passing around. And so for me, when I used to be in there, before I get to work, after having that experience combined with the traffic, I already have a headache. That's also part of the story of how, you know, Trotro started. So I think it's very important that we talk about it. Now, the reason why it's very important, in addition to what has already been said, is that imagine that we're experiencing this in traffic.
With our cars.
With our cars.
Which I'm going to get to Nene to tell us how, you know, this gas is produced from our cars, because I can understand the firewood and, you know, how maybe not fanning your fire when you're trying to light it up and produce this gas. But car monoxide. Go ahead.
So think about it that trotros are moving about 70% of the population. So that's a risk that 70% of the population are exposed to. I mean, obviously, there are other means of transportation that add up. But even if it's 70%, that's already crazy.
Right.
Then now we're looking at, she mentioned the coal pots, that's our home, that's at the chore bars. So people have been exposed on the streets, people have been exposed in the places that we go to eat. These are two most essential spaces that we spend time in. So it's very essential that we let people understand what kind of risk they are being exposed to. And I think a couple of weeks back, there was this campaign going on, clean air campaign or something. I understand maybe they might call in or something to also give some other perspective. But it's a very important issue.
Absolutely. And so now I'll come back to you, Andrea, but let me come to you, Nene. Nene, you are an expert. Well, you're not a mechanic. But you know a thing or two about cars and all of that. How do cars, you know, produce carbon monoxide?
You know, the car that we know of, most of the cars you see actually are using engines. So far as your car uses engine, it means that three things are going on within it. It's burning fuel, oxygen, and heat. There's a combustion process taking place in the engine. And anytime it burns, it releases carbon monoxide. So all cars in general that use engine produce carbon monoxide. That is a fact. So every car that has an engine is poisoning us. But we have what we call the catalytic converter, which is in...
What is that?
It's, I'm sure we'll see it on the screen soon.
Hot cake in Ghana.
It's, you know of it. The name in Ghana is called cocaine. They call it cocaine because it's very, very, very expensive. Yeah, it has 3 precious minerals in it, and I'll share the prices of those metals very soon.
Okay.
So that's with the part 1. You see that with when you see this check engine light, it means that
on your dashboard.
Yeah, it means that there's a problem with the engine. And usually this is one thing we don't know as users. When you park your vehicle at night, especially at an unsafe place, or you leave it with any mechanic, street mechanic, they actually take it out. So most cars in Ghana, you see the check engine light on. Most of the cars, you see it. And that's usually because they have taken what we call the catalytic converter out of the vehicle. They've taken it out of the vehicle. So we have this check engine lights over there. And with this check engine light, some will have it at the top, some will have only this. So when you see it, they have this item we call the catalyst, the code scanner. This is actually the diagnostic code scanner. So this code scanner actually scans your vehicle to tell you what this light means. But unfortunately, many of us like to cut the cost. We go to the
corner.
Yeah, the corner electricians and mechanics. But when you see this check engine light, the fact that the engine is running doesn't mean it's okay. So when they scan, usually this is the code that pops up. You see P0420, P0420. So when they scan it and they see this, it usually means that what we call the catalytic converter is not working as it's supposed to. So with that, it actually converts this carbon monoxide into less harmful gas like the carbon dioxide. And this carbon monoxide is quite dangerous because when it enters our body, the carbon monoxide we have been talking about, it actually mixes with our blood. The carbon monoxide that we are talking about fuses with our blood. And when it fuses with our blood, we can't breathe well. The red we see in our blood is from what we call the hemoglobin. And that hemoglobin, this carbon monoxide that we breathe from all our cars, it fuses with it. And that red we see in our blood, it's in all our blood. That's what gives our blood the air. So as we are breathing this thing, our blood is not getting the air that we are supposed to get. And I was saying that when you do this test and they see this P0420, it means that they have stolen it. And many of the cars, they steal it. A good area, I'll share this with our viewers.
Where in the car is it placed that is so accessible for people to steal?
We'll see that, perfect. We'll see that this is usually found in the exhaust.
The exhaust pipe?
The exhaust system.
Okay.
The system. So we have what we call the manifold. So the manifold is connected to the engine. So it takes all the fumes from the engine.
Okay.
Then it goes all the way out. Okay. And we have also some cars that have turbo. So this is another way to reduce the carbon monoxide. When you get turbo, usually it takes in air.
Okay,
not from outside, from the engine.
That's supposed to go out.
It takes it back in to reduce the carbon monoxide in the system. So they have done a lot of things to reduce it. Even some cars have to. But a very good area like Malam Junction and Banyard,
yes,
they have some men, you know them. They stand over there and they'll tell you that there's a promotion for old cars. If your car is very old, they would actually do a test. And if your car missed that test, they will take something out, then they'll give you some money. Yeah, I've not been a victim before, but I know of it very well.
So usually around the, after the Awoshibanyan traffic light.
Yeah, the traffic light, in between, exactly.
And I've forgotten the name of this place. Before you get the Santa Maria side, they'll just be flagging. So a lot of these Uber guys, taxi guys, if your Uber guy is not good, they see these guys, they stop, they take it out. It's mainly this part. They take it out and sell it, and they pay money for it.
Yeah.
They take the thing that is supposed to help the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the drivers allow for that.
Yeah, they tell you that.
Why?
They usually tell you that this actually builds up when you fuse your car over a period of years.
It goes up. I don't understand.
No, they said it builds up. It builds up. They create an illusion that as the car is burning the fuel, it powers something
So
out.
it's useless.
So it's useless. Yeah. So unsuspecting drivers actually go there.
So the people who claim it is useless buy it and give them money, and the drivers allow for it to go.
Yeah, they give you money.
I think Nene is trying to be nice. Some of the drivers actually know. They're just selling it to get the money.
Is it that expensive? Is it lucrative?
So in the, as we are going on, we'll see it. So usually when the car is parked, you realize that they go beneath it and they actually steal it. And when you go to the mechanic or you go to these welders and you leave your vehicle, they also take it.
So wait, what does it do? What do the people who steal it, what do they do with it?
It's the minerals in. It has 3 very important minerals. We have what we call the palladium, we have what we call the radium, and you have platinum. They are all inside, and they are sold thousands of dollars for just an ounce. An ounce goes for, and to those who don't know an ounce, the weight of a pencil is usually the weight of an ounce. So just the weight of a pencil, if you can get that weight to sell it, you are getting over $1,000 from it.
Wow.
Yeah. And just imagine trading 50 cedis or 100 cedis for $1,000. Isn't that good business? And this is not only one. This is only one of the minerals I'm talking about. There are 3 minerals I spoke about: the rhodium, platinum, and palladium. So all those 3 minerals will be extracted from it, and they will sell it. So they call it cocaine in our system. It's called cocaine. Yeah, those who know of it, they call it cocaine. So usually they go beneath the vehicle, then they now extract this palladium from it, and the rhodium from it, and also the last one I spoke about, which is platinum. So these are the things they actually extract from it. So from our next slide, I showed you the diagnostic scanner. That scanner actually, you can actually buy it.
We can go to the next slide.
You can buy it from the mechanic shops. In fact, if you don't get it there, you can get it online. So this is how the system works. This is how the system works. So it takes in the air. The cars that use the turbo, it takes in the air, then it goes back in the engine, recirculates it, and passes it through the catalytic converter. And this is how the car system has been designed to work. So please, when your car has this catalyst converter out, let's know that one, you are breathing in bad air. 2, your car is going to consume more fuel because it has what we call oxygen sensors. So there are 2 oxygen sensors that actually check the amount of air that is going into your engine. So whenever they take it out, your car is actually going to take in more air. And with the next video, the next slide, we'll see how they usually steal it. I intentionally placed a video to see how fast or easy it is for them to steal. So wherever you park your vehicle, it's very important.
So it means that even hey, you go ahead.
Yeah, so this is how it is. So as I was talking about it, so when the car burns the fuel, the exhaust fuel, it goes through this. So this is what the thing they call the cocaine. This is the thing they call the cocaine. These things you see, they're like the mesh. It's called the cocaine. So as I said earlier, these are the reactions that take place and the minerals I was talking about. So we have the palladium, we have the platinum, and the rhodium. Then when it takes it, those materials are there so that it converts it to water. To water and carbon dioxide.
So that the
environment is
so essentially the air that is coming out is not as poisonous.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why
So
the newer cars.
once that catalytic converter is taken out, it means every other smoke that
just comes out.
is poisonous.
Yeah. So if
So
your
wait.
car is working very well.
Normally, there have been times where I have been right behind maybe a trotro and the exhaust, you can tell some thick, very, very bad smoke. It's almost as if the car wants to burn. That smoke coming out is filled with, the carbon monoxide.
Yeah, not only that, that one is filled with a lot of things. When you see the black, it's called soot. And there are a lot of materials in that you actually...
That are poisonous.
Yeah, more than even just the... Because carbon monoxide is actually colorless. It's odorless
We
too.
can't see it.
Yeah, and it's tasteless. You don't see it, you don't smell it. But the black you see is actually the burnt carbon and the other materials that are fused in the fuel. So you're actually breathing worse than just the carbon.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when...
It's even white.
This is
usually
white.
black.
So
when
this
you're
is
talking about it's like...
this is not
Yeah,
the carbon
this is-
monoxide.
No,
but
this is called-
it's possible it may be mixed with that.
Oh, it's not that it's possible. It's mixed with
It's mixed with it, but we can't see it.
Yeah, it's mixed with
But this is soot.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a suit that goes in our body with a lot of particles in. So
Just before you continue, so this is the same suit that she was talking about earlier on, that when you have
get
somebody
from
that has
burning-
charcoal, it sticks to the wall and all that. It builds up.
Right.
So we have a lot of cars in our system that actually have these kind of problems. In our country, we take things for granted. But,
Can we go back to the previous slide?
The slide before that. I'm sure we'll get back to it. But when you travel to UK, European countries actually, so this is it. So we find some here and the other side as well. So these are usually where you find the catalytic converter. So you find the rhodium, the palladium, and platinum, and these are the prices I was talking about. The palladium, just an ounce goes for $1,145 to $1,157. Then the platinum, it goes for $1,390 to $1,400. Then this rhodium goes as much as $6,000.
And how many ounces are in one catalytic converter?
No, you need about maybe 7, 10 to get the ounce of it. Yeah, they are actually very, very minimum. They are very, very small. Yeah, they are little, so it's hard to even trace them. But the truth is, it's in every vehicle. So if they get an ounce, it means that they've made a lot of money.
So let me ask this question. For those of us who obviously will not trade this converter for anything in the world because we care about humanity, how can we tell that this has been stolen? Are there signs in case maybe, especially for women, we don't have the time to go and check? We'll check the converter and we say, the car, does it do something? Is it something that it can, like a sign or a sound?
Well, the sound usually
that it has been stolen?
It's hard to detect the sound. But rather, what you can easily detect too is with the check engine light, also with the check engine light is one. Then also, yes, I've remembered. I was going to say that apart from the check engine light, you'd realize that when you're driving, you consume more fuel, because the oxygen sensor actually checks the ratio between the air, fuel, and the oxygen. So it's like cooking. We should always know that oxygen is always needed for cooking, for burning as well. So if the car sees that the fuel is rich, that is when you see the black. The black, the suit. You see it, the black smoke. That's because the car is burning rich fuel. And when you see that, it's a sign. Also, when you also see that when you start the car in the morning, you don't see water coming out, water vapor, it could be that it has been taken out. Because the catalytic converter is what converts all these gases, then you get water as a byproduct and the carbon dioxide. So,
I mean, in a nutshell, what I have gotten from you is if I realize my car is consuming a lot of fuel,
it could be.
As in compared to when I got it first, it means that it has been stolen.
It could be. I love what he said.
But it doesn't necessarily mean.
So I want you to narrow it down to a sign
the thing with these things is that can be a cause, right, of your fuel consumption going up. But there could be other factors. Maybe something else could be a contributing factor to your car consuming more fuel now. So that's why we're saying it doesn't mean the very moment you see that you're consuming more fuel.
So there's no sign I can use.
No, those are the signs. You see, I don't want, what I'm saying is,
no, you're not getting me. You're not getting me. You're not getting me.
So,
I'm saying you've given me a sign. But you're saying that it doesn't mean automatically that once my car starts consuming fuel, it means that my converter has been stolen. So I'm saying, give me a distinctive feature that I can use to tell, because this is important.
Yeah, but before Nene comes in, right? So it's just like our bodies, right?
You've read my mind.
Oh, okay. You're the same level. So something can give you a headache. Sometimes they say maybe if you haven't taken enough water or something like that, it can give you a headache. But in other instances, you might have a headache which might not be because you haven't taken enough water. It might be some other sickness or something like that. So that's why we're saying that it is something that could show that, okay, that might have been taken out. But in other cases, it might be something else that's contributed. So when you see some of these signs, they are sort of like symptoms. That means you have to check. Maybe do the test with the
diagnostic tool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So please take over.
Okay.
So as like I said, when you see that check engine light, one problem is in Ghana we do things anyhow. Someone can drive with check engine light. So far as the car is driving perfectly, he has no problem. But that check engine light is designed for you to check what the problem is. Like what I was going to talk about the human body, because when you have headache and they give you paracetamol, it doesn't go, they'll do what? A test to see what is causing the headache. And that is why you should go and do that test. That diagnostic tool They have different types, and they are not expensive. That's why I even shared the code. That was the P0. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So with this, they actually steal it easily. If we can play the video, perfect. You see, at night especially, when you park your vehicle, then they just come. And this is what they are taking out. That's what they are actually extracting from it. Then the suit I was talking about. So there is one way. So this is the, when they take it out, then they start bringing out this stuff. And this is it. This is how it looks like. Yeah. So usually they do it in it takes less than 30 minutes to do it. And you see the miracles it does. So it converts all that, then you have carbon dioxide coming out because of the heat. It works with the heat. Then when it's stolen, you see this happening. And I was talking about the fact that most cars you see in our system are smoking because they've stolen it. So this is another person. Everywhere, not only in Ghana. So even when you buy a foreign car and you see the check engine light, you have to check. Look at how someone has piled a lot over there that he's stealing. If you've gone to where we are talking about, see that they have a lot over there. So this is how someone is guarding stores. You can guard it with a mesh or something to protect yourself.
Which is something I think we should talk about more. Yeah. But in case you realize that your converter has been stolen, how expensive is it in replacing it? Are you able to replace it, and how expensive it is?
It's actually very expensive. If you are buying an original one, then you should be budgeting between 4,000 to maybe 5,000, 7,000 cities. Yeah, Ghana cities. Yeah. But even that one is home use from the accident vehicles and the rest. But if you want brand new, then you should be looking at maybe $2,000, $4,000 because of the materials that are in. And we should understand that, as I was saying, whenever you are driving and you see the check engine light, you should let them use what we call the diagnostic tool. Don't trust any mechanic who just looks at the car with his eyes and says, so away. This is the scan, the tool I was talking about. When they use it, it's called the car diagnostic scan tool. The car diagnostic scan tool. You can buy it on Amazon,
You can buy it and check it yourself.
GTN. You can check yourself. Yeah, so when you check it and you see this code, the P0420, then it means that there's a problem with how the catalytic converter is burning the fuel. Especially, please, you can see only this check engine, the sign here, or you can see this thing that looks like a helicopter. When you see it, please let them diagnose your car, especially when you are buying a car. Or you take your car to the workshop and they see this thing. How do they clear it? Usually they clear it by disconnecting the battery terminals. So after a month, or after a day or two, then it comes back. As soon as you see that, that means that they cleared it. So you have to go and do the scan to see what was the problem.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think one thing I wanted to do was to bring Andrea into the conversation. If we can go to the slide that had the smoke coming out. Because, I mean, we have drivers watching, and then they probably will be concerned about, if I see this, that means maybe my catalytic converter has been stolen or something. But maybe from the environmental aspect and for passengers, they'll be thinking, okay, how does this concern me? When somebody is seeing this smoke, can you speak to that as well?
Actually, before you even come in, just to add on to what was saying, I understand, oftentimes, you know the people that have garages in their homes, I understand sometimes when you spark your car in an enclosed area, it's possible that the gas that come out of your car has some of that carbon monoxide. So it's actually not good to spark your car in a closed garage. I don't know how true that is. Maybe
it's actually very, very true.
Yeah, it's very true.
People actually use it for committing suicide. But I'll let you talk then. I'll share some of the scenarios of how it works.
Sure. Go ahead, Andrea.
It's very true because carbon monoxide operates very effectively in an environment that is unventilated. So in a closed garage, there's not so much air over there, and you are sparking your car. So it's releasing those gases into the environment.
Yeah, so I was saying that usually when you use generators as well. There was a time
in Nigeria,
people have actually died.
The phone lines open so that maybe we can invite. So
there was a family that lost their life because they had their generator in their room to prevent thieves from stealing it while they were asleep.
In their room,
and it killed all of them. it killed all of them. It happened in Ghana during the early Doomsaw era. I'm surprised you don't remember.
I think I came across a story like that in 2015.
Yeah, around there.
Suman.
Yeah.
It was actually two lovers. They didn't want their generator to be stolen.
Wow.
So they kept it in their living room. And then the next morning...
Wait, they kept it in their
living room.
I'm coming. They kept it in the living room on. As the generator was on.
Yeah, during that Doomsaw era.
Hey.
So in the morning, they found out that the two of them, they are dead. But upon autopsy, they realized that it's the build-up of carbon monoxide in their lungs. That's what actually killed them.
Which brings me to the question.
Wow.
How will I know that I'm being affected by this gas in terms of inhaling and health issues? I mean, how does it take effect?
So, Nene mentioned something that once carbon monoxide gets in contact with your blood, it combines with hemoglobin in your blood. But then, since it's odorless and it's tasteless, the only way you can check is through a blood test. And also, if you install carbon monoxide detector in your home, just like a smoke detector, if there is the buildup, it will sound that alarm for you to know.
For you to know, right?
Yeah.
So that means that it makes it very dangerous because in this case, and I can just imagine if there's Doomsaw, you are indoors, you have your generator on, they probably had ACs on.
Yeah.
That is wild. And so that means that you are not even aware that it's impacting you, and the next thing you know, you're gone.
Yeah, there was a lady who also died like that in the garage. She was waiting for the husband with the engine turned on.
So in the garage, the door shuts, right?
Yeah. So the husband was in there, came back and met the wife dead.
Wow.
Not knowing.
So it can kill that quickly.
Yeah, you feel just dizzy. You feel dizzy, then you meet Jesus at the
So let's now talk about the early warning signs that you may be, exposed to the gas.
Yeah. So how you mentioned that when you are sitting in the church row and then by the time you get to your workplace, you are feeling tired and headache. Yeah. So that's carbon monoxide poison. Imagine that car with that suit coming out, you being behind that car in a heavy traffic for let's say 1 hour. By the time you are getting out from the church, you feel one dizziness, fatigue, headache. The symptoms are like that of a flu, like cold. You think you have gotten the cold.
Right.
That are the most common effects of the carbon monoxide poisoning. Severe cases are you feel chest pains, coma, and even like unconsciousness. And the most severe is like death as well.
You know, we've talked about cars, we've talked about firewood, coal. How about candles, scented candles?
Scented candles, they don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we burn that too. And we normally would keep it. I do that a lot. You normally will keep it in your bedrooms.
Yeah.
Because you want your room to smell nice. I'm just hoping I'm not killing myself.
A little bit further respect to me that it's cancerous, but I don't know how true.
It's cancerous.
That was a little bit.
The chemicals they used to give it.
That's what.
Then we have to stop.
And I think that's the what makes this conversation very important, right? Because with just what Andrea just described, imagine the millions of Ghanaians each. I didn't know that's what was happening, but I realized that every day, back then we used to live at Medina, I was working at North Industry Area. By the time I get to work, just like this, but then in the morning rush hour, there's traffic. So this car is not moving away from you.
Yes.
It's right in front of you or next to you. You are stuck in it.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to work and I'm feeling lightheaded and all that kind of stuff. And so the question, like in traffic. So then the question now is, why is there no outrage? Why are we not talking about this? Because
I think that is why now, a lot of people are now switching to electric vehicles. Because, I mean, imagine, you don't know that there's anything that's called carbon monoxide. You don't know that the car, the traffic you're in, through no fault of yours, is poisoning you slowly. So anyway, Andrea, you've spoken about the early warning signs. How about the long-term effect? Let's say, you got exposed in a car, blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, you just got out a little bit dizzy and you did not die. But for the people that, for instance, our mothers, our sisters that are into, the big kinky houses, kinky productions, and so they burn a lot of firewood. A lot of these chop bar women burn a lot of firewood in cooking these foods. I have had experiences with some of them, have conversations. They'll tell you, Charlie, like me homemade crimes, so, and they will think, Jano. They will say but they don't know it is the gas. Yeah. Let's look at the long-term effect of being exposed to this gas. What does it do to your health?
So long-term effects of this gas causes, in most cases, it causes movement. Like you can't, at a point, you see they complain about their waist, they can't move their body easily. Yeah, it leads to that. And then long-term also, it can just be there inhaling it and then you are just gone. Some of them are like, oh, it's heart attack. No, it is like long-term inhaling of it.
Dennis is on the line. We'll talk to Dennis in a bit. But do you remember that small, I don't know what to call it. Is it it's like a stove. We used to use kerosene. Normally, we would cook on it in our rooms, not outside, and burn a lot of kerosene. Is it also, a contributor to carbon monoxide?
It contributes to it.
Because, anyway, Dennis is on the phone lines. Hi, Dennis. Oh, we lost Dennis. Please, Dennis, we'd love to hear from you. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this very important topic we're discussing, and so would love for you to call back if you can. But yeah, you were saying, who was on the floor? I was talking about
the guy said Grace.
Yeah, it's my Grace that some of us are living, because I know particularly that particular stove is very small, especially if you grew up, in like single room. If you are, a single room person, you're very likely to. So you would want to cook in you'd want to cook in your room, your little ghetto, thinking you are, being private. Anyway, we have Kwame on the phone lines. Hi, Kwame.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. What are your thoughts on the topic we're discussing? Hi, Kwame. Hi. Hi, Kwame. Oh, Kwame can't hear me. What's happening to our phone lines? Please, Kwame, call back again. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah. Again, what were we saying? The stove.
We're talking about the stove.
Yeah. So, it's...
For me, the danger is how we are so exposed. And that's why I feel like, as a society, we need to start having more of these conversations. Right?
Absolutely.
On media, we're having all these political fights and all that. And then you start to hear about stuff. The EPA, for example, puts out, I think on a weekly basis or something, air quality. And when you look at it, you begin to realize a lot is going on. But you don't see a lot of attention being paid to some of these stuff. And I think we need to start focusing on some of this. Because then it's like, Charlie, you can just be there and then you are switched off because there are things that we're being exposed to. Nobody's educating people about it and stuff like that.
So now let's look at how we can collectively as a people do something productive about the spread of this gas. What can I do, or what can we all do, people that are watching as well, what can we all do in ensuring that in our little way, let's start from the firewood, the people that use a lot of firewood to cook, our choba women, our kinky houses and all of that. What can they, because obviously they're not going to stop cooking, right? They're not going to stop using firewood. So what can they do to minimize the production or the buildup of the gas?
So in such an environment, it should be highly ventilated because
it should be airy.
Yeah, very airy. Because if it's very airy, it's easy for the gas to escape. And then carbon monoxide is not a gas that really stays in the atmosphere for so long. Yeah, even though it contributes to greenhouse gases, global warming, it doesn't really stay in the atmosphere for so long. So those environments should be really airy. And then also, we should also bring to the consciousness of our people that we should install carbon monoxide detectors. There's something like that, Just as we have smoke detectors as well in our homes,
in our cars.
Something,
Can we do that in our cars?
In our cars, we already have the catalytic converter he was talking about.
Okay. Awesome. So it means that the people normally you would see. Again, I'm going to go back to the Choba people. Most of them, where they cook, their kitchen, they would normally, they call it apata, right? They would use wood to sort of create some sort of protection around where they cook, the fire. Maybe they're thinking they don't want any pollution or whatever. Should they take it off?
They shouldn't take it off because
that blocks air from coming in, I'm thinking.
Yeah, but then in that kind of environment, there should be like large windows. Yeah, large windows and a lot, like so much spaces that air can easily enter and go out as well. Yeah.
Okay, so we've spoken about the firewood. How about gas? Gas itself. You know, some people use gas stoves.
I think we have a picture of the detector.
Okay, that's the detector, yeah? So that's the carbon monoxide detector or smoke detector. This looks like a smoke detector.
Now, very probably the advanced
similar
ones might be able to detect it.
Okay,
both. I'm sure it can do both.
Okay, so I'm saying, how about gas stoves? Those who use gas stoves for cooking. I use gas in my, obviously the cylinder is outside, but the gas itself is in my kitchen. Very ventilated, but does it produce the gas as well?
Yeah, it does. If the area is not really ventilated, it traps the gas behind it. So in most stoves, the very good ones, they have proper ventilation systems in there.
Okay.
And then, even though they have proper ventilation system, it should be checked from time to time.
Okay.
It should not just be left like that.
Okay.
But then in the ones that does not have proper ventilated areas around it, you should have large windows, so a very properly ventilated kitchen as well. Yeah.
I'd pick your thoughts on what you think government should also do in support of our way of curbing this very poisonous substance. But if you just joined as well, this is Trotro Diaries on Joy Prime Television. What we're doing is having a conversation around a very silent killer, you know, that may be in your home, your cars, your workplaces, but you do not know. It's called carbon monoxide. And for years, it has earned the name silent killer for a reason. You can't see it, you can't taste it. It's undetectable, but very, very poisonous. And from our discussion, we have come to know that it's able to come out or build up due to the little things that we do not realize that, hey, what I'm doing may be, you know, causing, you know, some harm to the environment. Of course, you're not a scientist, but obviously everything we do now is backed by science. And so it's important that we all know and are conscious of the fact that most of the things that we do can contribute to, you know, the climate change we're all experiencing. Oftentimes when you have conversations with individuals who really do not know much about this climate conversations, they think climate change is happening because some of the big pharmaceutical companies and industries or companies, the things they do sort of contribute in a very big way to this climate change thing. But it's the little things that we all do. And you know, our scientist here has spoken at length to this. So let's look at how governments can help. What kind of policy should we advise our, you know, MPs, politicians, and all of that? What kind of policies should they form that would sort of help curb the situation?
I think the first thing when it comes to these things is the awareness first.
Okay.
If you create so much awareness of it, people will see that, oh, it's a very dangerous thing that I'm actually dealing with. Because
so you think that the education is not there?
Yes, I think the education is not there. I agree. Yeah. So more light should be thrown on it, more exposure. As the people come to know it, that's when when you bring a policy, they can actually follow it and be like, oh, this is actually against my health. Yeah. So I think, first of all, more awareness should be created on there. And I think when it comes to our roads, the exhaust pipes using those kind of suits, then I see, I'm sure he has like a lot of information about how like they should bring policies of them not removing the catalytic.
I think there was an emission tax and some other stuff.
But you know, in UK and other European countries, they actually have a limit. So many cars are banned there. So if your car is actually emitting a certain amount of poisoning into the system, they ban that vehicle. But unfortunately, here in Ghana, I can bring a truck that can burn the whole of Mokola and I'll still register it. And the challenge with what we are talking about is the fact that every single day we sit in a vehicle, and it's not only our car, all our environment is having this infestation. Even in our office, the vehicles that are parked are also producing it. So everywhere. And one problem is when we use our AC, we usually forget that the AC itself, there are two modes. Either it's recirculating the air you're breathing within, or it's extracting the air from outside. So even if I sit in my car and I turn on my AC, you are still not safe. Because the AC has two modes. One mode is designed to extract the air from the environment, cool it, and take it in. So if you are sitting in the car, you are probably using that mode. You think you are safe, but you are still breathing it. And when you get down to, you are still breathing it. I mean, and you don't even know you are dying.
It's a very serious issue, and sometimes when you start to research about some of these things, you realize how, from a policy or government perspective, how we're taking some things for granted. So there's a documentary on Netflix.
Right.
It's called Dirty Money, and it's related to one of these big car brands. I'm not going to mention their name because it's not like we're going after them. But yes, what happened was this company in the West, once you build a car, you're supposed to make sure that the emissions that are coming out meet a certain standard, as Nene mentioned. They couldn't meet that standard, and so what they now did was they did something, fixed it to the car to enable it to beat the test. Not that the emissions were good, but to make it possible for it to beat the test. When they were found out later, they were fined huge sums of money. And it's affected that company to now, we still don't even see them as they used to be. So these are very important conversations, very serious things that by now we should have our leaders serious, focused on some of these stuff. Because last time, I think we were having a conversation about some of these things, and we talked about how when COVID happened, we locked the country for 3 months, 4 months. Some of these other stuff are killing more people than COVID did. Why are we not, we're not saying lock up the country, but why are we not taking these serious measures, going the extra mile to ensure that our citizens are protected? I think these are some of the conversations.
Very important point you raised.
And to add to what you were saying, when we look at our environment itself, you realize that apart from the carbon monoxide we are talking about, a lot is killing us. So if you can't protect yourself, banku we eat, the rubber. It's okay.
Road safety.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, I'm interested.
The banku we eat, the rubber, the water we drink, the pure water we drink, the chemicals. I have a friend who is specializing in microplastics. The shirts we even wear. If you hear all this, you realize
I have this bad habit that I do. I'm hoping I have not poisoned myself in the past. So sometimes when I'm finding it very lazy to put on the kettle to boil water, maybe I need hot water. You know the sachet water? I just dump it in my microwave to warm it, and I use it for tea.
That is, then you are made of plastic now.
Wow.
But according to one of the research, said all of us in the country, in fact, the whole world, we have plastic in our system now, in our bloodstream.
Wow.
It doesn't just come out. We all have plastic in us.
I mean, think about it. It's not even good to put like a plastic container, put food in it, to warm food in the microwave. And now you are putting a pure water. Hey, you be too much.
I'm a child of grace. Nothing will happen to me. Thankfully, I know.
You know,
I know better now. Go ahead.
Just to add to this, there was a point where some research started going into this. They started discouraging this.
So why are we continuing? Why?
And
I know, well, for some restaurants now, they use this plantain leaves. Is that a good way?
No, that's
better. Way better.
But this is what we use. And
the question that you asked related to this, if you don't get it,
I get it.
Forget about it.
Even in our homes, this is what we do.
It's dangerous.
Well,
for me, right, you mentioned grace. I'm Christian, right? But I think it's time that we look at some of these stuff, because some of the things that are happening, Charlie, it's not the village people. It's not the flying people. Some of the things are things that we are doing that we should have conversations about it, and then we can improve.
Absolutely. Guys, this has been really insightful. I'm sure Yao and Nene and Andrea will agree. Wow. There's a lot I have taken in through this little session that we've had. Well, not so little, but we've been having a conversation about carbon monoxide, a silent killer, very undetectable. You cannot see it, you cannot taste it, but it can kill you this quick. And so we've been taking a look at how the little things we've been doing, from burning firewood, from burning coal, especially in enclosed areas, to people that steal catalytic converters from our cars, how that thing is so important in our cars. Yet because an ounce is sold at more than $1,000, we think, oh, let's all die. After all, what's humanity all about, right? I think we know better now. And so if you're watching, please, let's all do the right things. If you are a chore bar person, you cook in large, quantities, and so you have to use firewood. The trick is to cook in a very airy environment, okay? Same for gas stove people. Yeah. We know you cannot stop doing your business, but make sure that you're checking all your boxes and ensuring that at the end of the day, through just getting money, you don't kill people and kill your own self, because you are at risk as well. I don't know if you have something to say to that.
I think so. Probably the part that was missed was the trotro ones, because we're a transport show. Even we focus on the community. Absolutely. Transport is also number one.
Yeah.
And so you might think that, it doesn't affect me. I'm in a trotro or something. It does affect you. And so it's very important. Let's have these conversations. And then let's also push our leaders, policymakers on some of these things, because what is more painful that you would struggle and make money and some of these other things. If it's tomorrow, if it's not road safety, today we are talking about carbon monoxide. As a society, things need to get better, not worse. And so this has been the Trotro Dice TV show on Joy Prime. Join us again next week at 12 midday. Take care.
That's